Warning, this is going to be a spoiler review. Pixar's latest animated feature, Hoppers, is disturbing. It's freaky. Oh my goodness. You know how classic Pixar is always about being sad and making us cry and feel the feels? No, this one wants to scare you into doing the right thing. I'm so proud of it. Now, what am I talking about? You know that cute little trailer with the beaver? Yeah, the silly, silly little talking animal cartoon about how the beaver is like Avatar. Oh, it goes far beyond Avatar. Yes, I actually think this movie is better than the James Cameron whatnot. Maybe not as fancy as technology. Heck, the animation even isn't as fancy as like Pixar's quality usually is. And I'm talking about how Pixar can sometimes look so ridiculously like almost cool and beautiful and like far out. This doesn't do that. It dials back, and honestly, I think that was a strength, okay? It focused more on being interesting than being good looking. So that was great. No, I first thought that the last trailer exposed too much of what the plot was going to be, but that was okay because it didn't reveal the climaxes or the sweetness. And there was some sweetness, of course, but the creepiness in it was not showed, and that was so, so good. God, I almost wish they had not even warned them at all about the whole animals attacking thing, because then it would have made the surprise even better. Oh my goodness, so much to talk about. Okay, first, what is the plot? The trailer was true, yeah. It talked about a girl becoming a robot beaver through crazy mad science through her college professor. Yeah, this is all really fast paced. It doesn't bother to talk about how or why. It just does. Anyway, so she is an animal lover. She is an animal activist. And she is properly ignored by everyone because no one cares about animals that much. I have been working in animal care most of my adult life, okay? Vets, doggy daycares, zoos, shelters. I can tell you, the funding and care about animals to just the mass is very weak. Oh, you can say animals are cute, but no one actually cares about keeping them, like, alive. So, on a personal level, her frustration I totally felt. And Mabel is interesting as a character because she's so angry. Oh, she's got all this rage inside of her, and she uses it for good. But it's a good no one wants to hear about. She's such a step up from Merida because Merida is mostly was just, ugh, mom, leave me alone, which doesn't really relate to that many people. It doesn't. It just made her come off as a brat. And Mabel, you can call her bratty if you want, but I find her just amazing. She just keeps pushing and pushing. It's a character flaw, yes, but it's also exciting storytelling. So anyway, she becomes a beaver. She talks to the animals, and yes, it is silly and cute, and she makes friends with the Beaver King. Now, there was an opportunity for me to think, oh no, is this going to be a love, like, romancy thing? Because one's a boy and one's a girl. No, the Beaver King flat out states that is not a thing because he recognizes that he is much older than her. But he has the good heart and good nature of a child, even though he does seem to be a middle-aged man. Yeah. Oh, he has the same voice actor as Panda from We Bare Bears. Oh, and Louie from the DuckTales reboot. And this character is so much sweeter than either of those guys. Anyway. So, yeah, it escalates to, at first, her wanting to just help the local animals in her area, and then it expands to the other animal royalty. It separates by, I don't know, genus. You know, there's the mammal king, there's the insect king, the reptile queen, yada yada. Anyway, so, yeah, the other, monarchs are like, humans are ignoring us? Oh no! It's like, is this really a surprise to you guys? Animals, not all animal species live very long, so maybe it is, maybe they just don't deal with it as, no, animals all deal with human mass creation and all that, but Mabel really pushes them to do more, and so their plan is, we must kill the human king, who is Mayor Jerry. He doesn't have a last name, or I guess Jerry's probably his first name, but we must kill Mayor Jerry. Oh, and a fun fact, Mayor Jerry and Mabel actually know each other pretty well. Again, not a love interest for her. No, no. It is more of just a ridiculous situation where he is a grown middle-aged man who is like having arguments, silly little arguments with a college student. Like, oh, Mabel, it's you. Like, God, she calls him Jerry. Like, she is so familiar with him. And he doesn't like her necessarily, but he's familiar with her. Like, it's great. It's so great. So, anyway, yeah. The story not just goes to what the trailer implies, let's protect Jerry. No, let's try to all stay alive because anarchy! Like, the animals are pissed. The humans, again, don't care about animals and don't want to listen. The sweet beaver king is like, no, everyone's good deep down. And people like, yeah. George, I love you, and I want to believe that. I do, but we gotta do stuff anyway. And that was awesome. On a personal note, people saying let's kill Jerry was very upsetting for me because in my life, this is Jerry, my beautiful kitty cat. Look at him. Can you, imagine going an hour and hearing people on a movie, of course, but hearing an hour of different people saying, I want to kill Jerry. This guy right here. Look at his little kitty face. So awesome. I cannot explain what made it so awesome other than what I've just already said, but oh my goodness. This did such a better job of, let's save the trees than other animated features I could mention. This movie doesn't do that. No, it wants to scare you into being kinder to the environment. And apparently that's what it would take for the environment to be taken seriously. That's what it would take. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think Hoppers just became one of my new favorite Pixar movies. I can't really push the others out of their league because, nostalgia reasons, and I still find the quality of them to be amazing. Like, my personal top 3 favorite Pixar movies of all time are The Incredibles, Ratatouille, and Soul. Sure, I like Toy Story fine, but after the years of its exploitation, part of my love of it kind of crumbled. Even though I can admit that seeing the trailer for number 5, yes, I hate that there's a number 5. Even though the number 5 did look entertaining, and yeah, seeing Buzz and Woody did fill my heart with joy because they're such lovable characters, and being cartoons, they don't really age. But I'm still disgusted that they won't leave Buzz and Woody alone, and that they make tablets seem evil, okay? Tablets are not evil. Uncaring parents that just push tablets in their kids' faces are the problem. Honestly, Mitchell's vs. the Machines illustrated that so much better. Pixar, if you really care about the problems of society and such, try not to sell products, that are associated with said problems. Can that happen? Probably not. So, I loved this movie. I love so many details about this movie. I love how adorably cutesified the animals are. And I love the detail of where, from the human's perspective, all animals have those beady little eyes, okay? Now, most real animals are mostly just pupils, so I feel like that matched. Whereas, you see that in maybe Eastern sort of animation, more realistic depictions of animal faces, whereas Western animation always gives them closer irises like ours. And I understand that they want to draw people into the, feeling of the character, but it bugs me. It's a little detail that bugs me. But I could say that about how red pandas are not giant as, grizzly bears. They are actually more the size of raccoons, even smaller, maybe cats. So, wow, this is definitely a great example of how new Pixar is pretty great in its whole other way. Most of the new Pixar movies are more about kids figuring out their own problems, and I'm for that. I will say this is definitely one of the more exciting ones. Now, I love Turning Red because it had very cute friendships in it. I thought it was very funny, and it went there. I appreciate that. Luca and God, I can't even remember the thing about the Blue Elves. Oh, Luca and Onward, they were boring. Coco, I thought was definitely a beautiful film. I respect it, but I don't know, I respect Up and Finding Nemo. I think they're decent movies, but they don't really hit little spots for me. So, Who do I think should see this movie? Everyone. Anyone. I think you're an animal lover. You'll definitely appreciate the way it says, "Hey, be nice to animals. It's for the greater good of everything." I mean, movies like Nope definitely illustrate that, though Nope is more of a very strange, genre bending horror sci fi movie, where this is the animated version. And again, it does a way better job of making you good than I think Ferngully ever would. Though I didn't really love Ferngully for its environmental messages, I just thought the fairy romance was cute. And that jungle was beautiful. Anyway. So Hoppers, you are freaky and I love you. Okay, I think adults can see it and they'll soften from its, really sweet mood and such. And then after it drags you in, it'll drag you down. It'll haunt you. I think this will traumatize kids, but I also hope it sparks a fire under some butts to actually care more about the environment, because if you don't do it, no one else will. Also, I think this will definitely inspire animation fans, because this is good storytelling, all right? This is when you take the absolute beautiful absurdity of animation and make something that is both poignant and just delightful and scary, but educational in its scariness. I will admit, one flaw in this movie is how they, like Up, they try to manipulate the character that passed away into being like the emotional anchor for our main character. Do I find that a little gimmicky? A bit. Do I think they have to do that just as a Pixar rule? Kind of. And still, so much else about this movie was so great, I can forgive that. I can. Mostly because in the first 10 minutes, like, Grandma and Mabel passed the Bechdel test with violence, and that was beautiful. So, this movie gives me hope for the future of animation, maybe for the future of Pixar. I don't know. But yeah, I think Pixar isn't going to be the same as it was 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. But I think that's amazing. I think that's special. I liked Elemental. I thought Turning Red was special. Coco was definitely more than 10 years ago by now, but yeah, we don't need sequels. We just need to put trust and faith in people that actually just want to tell a story. Like, ugh, I knew Daniel Chong would make me happy. I was, worried, but no. Just like We Bare Bears, he made a movie that was both warm and terrifying. And it will stick with me for good reasons and bad.